Tonight on CTV News, hope for Canada in the trade war.
It has delayed our medium to long-term decisions when it comes to investment.
The U.S. Supreme Court rules many of Donald Trump's tariffs illegal. The impact on BC and what happens next.
I have heard over and over and over again a level of anxiety and concern about the fiscal path that British Columbia is on.
Tough sell is the business community buying it. How Premier David Eby is defending the record-setting deficit budget.
I can tell you he is not welcome in the city of Surrey. I don't want him here.
The long criminal history of a high-risk sex offender now released into Surrey.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed.
Trump's sweeping tariff struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court today, dealing a stunning blow to the U.S. president's agenda. In a 6-3 vote, the court ruled the so-called fentanyl and reciprocal tariffs were imposed illegally. But the decision does not change the steel, aluminum, auto, and lumber tariffs, which are still in place. Donald Trump responding to the ruling with a new threat, announcing a new 10% global tariff. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The latest twist in the roller coaster trade war is being welcomed by Ottawa and Premier David Eby. Despite Trump's new threat, businesses in BC are hopeful this will have a positive impact now and potentially when crucial trade talks get underway later this year. CTV's Martin McMahon reports.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing.
U.S. President Donald Trump reacting as the U.S. Supreme Court rules he overstepped his authority when he imposed initial tariffs, blaming the fentanyl crisis.
This is an important decision, even just to restore some of our confidence in one of our closest friends and allies and trading partners.
Trump then threatened an additional 10% global tariff under a section of the U.S. Trade Act. While the majority of Canadian exports will not be affected, the ongoing uncertainty still has an impact on BC, with the Conservatives arguing the NDP government could be doing more.
So there's stuff that we need to be doing at home, and that's also supporting major projects. That includes a pipeline, which David Eby is dead set against. So we need to grow the pie, not shrink it.
Corrugated sheet manufacturing companies like Cancun in Surrey are among those trying to navigate the situation.
It has delayed our medium to long-term decisions when it comes to investment. That applies to almost all the other industries as well, but it's particularly in our industry. It is heavily integrated with the U.S. economy.
The ruling doesn't help the steel industry, according to the GM at AI Industries in Surrey.
What we need for, CUSMA, USMCA, NAFTA, whatever you want to call it, we need that to be resolved, to be renegotiated, and just be once and for all finalized so we can move on with, getting back to business as usual.
So even on a day when it looked as if Canadian companies would get a break on the tariff front, another twist, demonstrating just how difficult it is for businesses to plan during this period of trade tension. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Surrey.
Now, before commenting on the court ruling, the Premier faced the music, defending his government's budget in front of BC's business community. David Eby says our financial struggles reflect global trends, and he believes the outlook will improve. CTV's Kevin Chirac has that story.
The fall in timber prices and a struggling natural gas sector were among the factors cited for BC's budget woes.
We are still an economy that is disproportionately dependent on resource revenues.
The Premier spoke in front of a business crowd in Vancouver this morning, addressing concerns about a budget that is projected to include tax increases and a record-setting $13.3 billion deficit.
So the goals of the budget are grow the economy, stabilize provincial finances, to be able to deliver the services that families deserve.
We're now on a trajectory that is very concerning.
The president of the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade pressed the Premier on the numbers after giving his government's budget a D letter grade on Tuesday.
I don't pretend to be perfect, and British Columbia doesn't pretend to be perfect, but I think we're doing an okay job compared with our relevant comparators.
We remain very concerned about the fiscal trajectory of this province. We're worried about possible downgrades from credit rating agencies, which will impact our ability to borrow as a province.
Others in the audience also expressed disappointment.
It's a very challenging situation. I'm not leaving here today reassured that the province is actually going to take the necessary steps to be able to address our concerns.
There's not a lot in the budget that's giving the business community confidence that we're going to grow our way out of these structural deficits.
The NDP has blamed its financial position on everything from tariffs to COVID to decisions made by previous governments. But we asked Eby if his government needs to make any major changes.
Absolutely. We need to address that's happened on our watch, which is the growth in administrative, bureaucratic positions in the public service and the public sector.
And the Premier says that's already being tackled through hiring freezes and a plan to cut 15,000 government jobs over 3 years. He also maintains that BC's economy should improve with nearly $50 billion in expected investment into the province's energy sector over the next year. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
To breaking news now, and another concerning development in the online history of the Tumbler Ridge shooter. Lauren Pullen is following this in the Breaking News Center. Lauren, we're learning a ChatGPT account connected to Jesse Van Rootselaar was banned by OpenAI long before the horrific shooting.
Mijung, that account was banned 7 months before the mass shooting for violating the company policy. OpenAI saying the account was investigated for unspecified uses of the chat bot that raised alarm bells about possible violent intentions. Well, OpenAI did report this to RCMP. It was not until after the horrific shooting. The company says it did consider referring the user to law enforcement around the time she was banned in June 2025, but that the case didn't meet their threshold as it did not show credible or imminent planning. RCMP do confirm to us the platform did reach out to police after the deadly incident where 8 innocent victims were killed. Mounties say they are continuing to methodically process and review Van Rootselaar's online activities and digital footprint as part of their investigation. Meech.
Thank you, Lauren. Thousands of government workers are feeling on edge after the BC NDP unveiled its budget earlier this week. The province says it plans to cut 15,000 full-time positions over the next 3 years through attrition, voluntary departures, and early retirements. More than 12,000 of those from public sector jobs such as Crown corporations, school districts, and health authorities. The president of the BC General Employees Union says the province hasn't provided the union with any details on when those cuts are coming.
They heard us during bargaining. They understand that there's not just in the civil service, but across the broader public sector, there was a massive overhiring in terms of the senior management positions, and we were able to show that empirically.
Paul Finch says the province is responsible for its massive $13 billion deficit, and union members should not be casualties of poor fiscal restraint. An agreement in principle has been reached between the province and ambulance paramedics. Details have not been made public, but funding for mental health supports is said to be significantly improved, which has been a major sticking point in negotiations. It comes just a few days after union members voted 97% in favor of strike action. The union president says it was that solidarity that helped reach a deal. The agreement will now be presented to the more than 6,000 paramedics and dispatchers for a vote. We are learning more tonight about a high-risk sex offender who moved into Surrey this week. Documents obtained by CTV News show he has a long criminal history that includes crimes against children. CTV's Michelle Bernaro has more, and a warning: some of the details are graphic.
58-year-old Marinus Wilms has a disturbing criminal past, and now he's living somewhere in Surrey.
Based on prior offenses, it was determined that he was a high risk to women and children in the community.
People are asking me, where is he? I don't know where he is, but I would like to.
According to parole board documents, he has served 3 federal sentences. His crimes include abduction, kidnapping, forcible confinement, and sexual assaults with a weapon.
He should be in jail or in a locked facility. He is not welcome in my city.
It's not the first time Wilms has been the subject of a public warning. In 2022, a sex offender notification was issued in Manitoba. Winnipeg Police Service also did a community notification, writing that in 1999, Wilms forced his way into a vehicle belonging to a mother and her 8-year-old daughter. He held a knife to the child's head, threatening to kill her if the mother did not cooperate. Even while in prison, parole board documents reveal serious problems. On April 29, 2024, you threatened to shoot the Parole Board of Canada board members. According to the most recent parole board documents, he was detained by the board in both 2023 and 2024. In both those cases, he was deemed a high risk to reoffend. The parole board kept him in prison until his warrant expiry date. Wilms faces a series of release conditions, including not being allowed anywhere near parks or children. He has a curfew.
There is electronic monitoring. We do also have members from our Investigative Services Bureau who are monitoring him for compliance, and will be checking in on him.
Quite frankly, I think the federal government has to take a strong look at how they are releasing these kind of criminals into our cities.
Police say anyone who sees him breaking his release conditions should call 911. Michelle Bernoro, CTV News, Surrey.
Following a year-long investigation, we are learning tonight that no criminal charges will be laid in a deadly landslide in Lions Bay. On December 14, 2024, David and Barbara Enns were killed when their home was swept away in the slide that hit the Sea to Sky Highway. Police were investigating large amounts of blasting that had taken place up along Botany Creek directly above their home. RCMP now say after reviewing all the evidence, criminal charges were not warranted. Still to come tonight, going for gold. Canada's Olympic men's hockey team is into the gold medal game, but for the second game in a row, it was a tough fight. We'll have reaction from fans and look ahead to Sunday's game just ahead. But first, let's take a look at what's happening on Grouse Mountain. You can see a little more snow, and I think there are some flakes of snow coming down. I heard there were a few flakes in Metro Vancouver
earlier on today, when I was out for my walk, but didn't really accumulate to anything, and we don't expect that to happen as we head into the weekend either as things warm up. Here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland, dotted with 2s and 3s pretty much across the board right now. 1 degree in Abbotsford. As we head through the overnight, we'll drop down to 2 under overcast skies, and then rain returns as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So we'll start off cloudy, and it's not until the afternoon that we will see the next round of wet weather with a high of 6.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
And with the rain, the warm-up on the way as well as we head into the weekend. I've got those details coming up.
Yeah, because it was definitely chilly today.
It sure was.
Okay, thanks, Anne. Canada faced another tough test in men's hockey at Milano Cortina. But after a gritty comeback in late dramatics against Finland, the stage is set for a gold medal showdown with the United States. CTV's Josh Morano talked to some fans who were on the edge of their seats.
Nobody said it was going to be easy as the Canadian men face off against Finland with a chance to play for gold on the line.
I told my dad at the start of this game, I did not want to feel like how I felt during the Czech game. It was the exact same emotions, the exact same feelings, and we got put in the exact same position.
While Canada was the favorite coming into the tournament, it was Finland jumping out to a 2-0 lead early in the second period.
We started 0-0, and anything can happen from that point. So, the other team scores first, you start gripping your sticks. I'm gripping my glass a little harder.
But then goals from Sam Reinhart and Shea Theodore would even things up midway through the third.
Truly, it's never in doubt. It's Canada. We breed winners here.
Before Nathan McKinnon secured the win, scoring on a power play with just 35 seconds left in the game.
The boys did it, and we know that they're going to do it on Sunday again, and it's our team for a reason. It's our game for a reason.
Canada will now play in the gold medal game Sunday.
We're pretty much full on the main floor at Lowertown. We are going to be opening up upstairs as well, which is under the same liquor license, so we'll be seating those. We already have 20 people upstairs in Rezos. We're going to be a packed house.
And fans say they'll be back for the gold medal game.
I'm going to talk to them after this to get a reservation for me and all my friends to come back here. Lowertown will be the place we watch the game.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
And during all the excitement of the hockey game today, Canada also added a pair of bronze medals to its tally. Speed skater Valerie Malte won her third medal at these Olympics, grabbing third place in the 1,500-meter long track event. And on the halfpipe, skier Brendan McKay grabbed the bronze medal with his final run in the men's free ski event. Canada now has a total of 17 medals at these games, with at least 2 more to come on the weekend. Pain at the pump. What's fueling a sudden jump in gas prices, and another hike could be just around the corner. Also ahead.
The season we had last year is not a season that you just say, okay, now this is the baseline for us.
The Vancouver Whitecaps season kicks off tomorrow. Still plenty of questions about the team's long-term future here. When CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. If you filled up your gas tank today, you might have had some sticker shock at the pump. Prices shot up overnight, and now we're seeing the highest prices of the year. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more.
Here at the Petro-Canada at Hastings and Renfrew in East Vancouver, the prices are $181.9 a liter. But the good news is the high prices shouldn't last too long.
It doesn't last forever, usually about a week. So if you weren't able to take advantage of yesterday's prices, usually by this time next week, we will see those prices scale back.
Prices have not been this high since September of last year. Still, the price is lower than last year's highest average, which was just over 190 cents a liter. Things could change, though, depending on geopolitical conflicts.
In Iran, if there is some kind of strike on Iran, and all bets are off as to prices falling, because oil, as we're seeing, has gone from about $56 a barrel all the way up to about $66 a barrel, something we haven't seen since last summer.
The maintenance of the BP Olympic pipeline in Washington state is what is driving the surge, and the prices will likely increase even more.
We're likely to see another 6-cent increase tomorrow. In other words, if you didn't buy gasoline less yesterday at $1.72 or a little lower, you're going to be paying $1.88 or lower, or maybe even higher by Saturday. That could continue for another maybe 2-cent increase Sunday.
The advice for consumers is to fill up as quickly as possible, as prices will likely fluctuate throughout the weekend. The good news is things will likely be back on track this time next week. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Vancouver Whitecaps will open their MLS season tomorrow as they host Salt Lake. The club is coming off its best season yet, but with talks of relocation lingering, will they be able to keep the momentum rolling into this year? Here's CTV's Ben Nesbitt.
Beautiful move on Pilcher. Ahmed continues on, works it across, and it's in the back of the net again.
2025 was a year to remember for the Vancouver Whitecaps. A Canadian championship, a record number of regular season points, and runner-up finishes in the MLS and CONCACAF Cup finals.
It was extraordinary, and sometimes you also have to stop and remind yourself that, okay, we achieved something that was a little bit extra.
But head coach Jesper Sorensen knows it's a clean slate, and maintaining that level of play won't be easy.
The season we had last year is not a season that you just say, okay, now this is the baseline for us.
The Danish skipper will be sticking around for at least a few more years, inking a contract extension through the 2027-2028 season.
It was so clear that I want to speak with Jesper's camp as early as possible to get that sustainability, to get that stability.
After joining the Whitecaps last year, German star Thomas Müller will play his first full year with the club.
I want to make sure that we build on this foundation we created as a team, and I don't talk about results. You can't control the results, but you can control the approach, how you play the game.
But as the club seeks stability on the field, off of it, that remains a big question mark. They've been for sale since 2024 and only have a deal to remain in BC Place for one more year, potentially leaving many wondering, could this year be the club's last in Vancouver? Ben Nesbitt, CTV News.
Later this year, Albertans will vote in a referendum on hot-button issues like immigration, what the separatist movement is hoping for. Also ahead.
You're cramping, throwing up, your eyeballs feel like they're ripping out of your head.
More CTV viewers go public with how severely ill they became after staying at a resort in Cancun. They say the resort tried to buy their silence. That's ahead. NASA says it's all systems go for a March 6 target to send astronauts, including a Canadian, around the moon. The space agency confirmed the date after a successful wet dress rehearsal, an important test where the rocket is filled with fuel and goes through a practice run of the countdown sequence. Canadian Jeremy Hansen, along with 3 American astronauts, will embark on the 10-day journey designed to clear the way for a future moon landing. The last flights operated by Canadian Airlines have left Cuba. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canadian Airlines have brought nearly 28,000 travelers safely back to Canada. She says some international airlines are still offering commercial flights for anyone still stuck. These are the dim nighttime scenes in Havana. Canadians are being urged to avoid all non-essential travel to the country as the crisis over shortages of many essentials from food to electricity worsens during a U.S.-imposed oil blockade. There are more reports tonight of Canadian travelers falling violently ill after staying at a Mexican resort. Some allege that the resort tried to get them to sign non-disclosure agreements in exchange for medical care. Here's CTV's John Woodward now with the latest.
Several fire trucks and ambulances lined up at Pearson Airport's Terminal 3 Thursday night called for 7 patients sick on a WestJet flight back from Cancun. No one went to hospital that night, but it may not be the only case.
You're cramping, throwing up, your eyeballs feel like they're ripping out of your head. It's the worst feeling. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we've had COVID. This was worse than COVID for us.
Neil Matheson was on a flight back from Cancun the day before. He says he passed out on the WestJet flight home, his 19-month-old son now undergoing tests.
For me, I'm an adult. We could handle with kids and stuff. You messing with my kids, I don't like that stuff.
He and his family stayed at the Royalton Splash Riviera, a common thread among many vacationers who reached out to CTV News after our first story about many people in that hotel getting sick with norovirus or E. coli, several so serious they were hospitalized.
This is a terrifying experience.
Christina Wishlow's family went in December. She says they got sick too, and in a dispute with the hotel following that, she was presented with a contract that says she shall not directly or indirectly disclose the incident or any other perceived negative experience relating to the incident to anyone in any way, saying it is the intention of the parties to avoid and prevent publicity. The payment, 20,000 Marriott Bonvoy points, or about $200 Canadian.
Clearly, they're not trying to fix the problem. They're just trying to hide it.
Matheson said he was presented with a similar contract in exchange for a free doctor's visit that would have otherwise cost them $900. He didn't sign it.
We're humans. We have kids, families, and lives. And, you're trying to silence what's going on here.
No Canadian court would uphold a contract like that, says this tourism professor.
You need a doctor. Sign this NDA before you can go to the doctor. That's never going to be enforceable.
No one from WestJet, Royalton Splash Cancun, or the Marriott hotel chain returned our emails, but hotel guests say they'll talk about what happened, contract or not. John Woodward, CTV News.
Police are still searching the home of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor 1 day after the former prince's stunning arrest. Mountbatten Windsor was released after 11 hours in custody following his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office in relation to private information allegedly shared with Jeffrey Epstein. Police say they are contacting former and current officers who may have worked in a protection capacity with the former prince. Those officers are being asked whether they saw or heard anything that may be relevant to the investigation. As supporters of Alberta separatism try to get the question on a future ballot, Premier Danielle Smith has announced a referendum on a number of other hot-button issues.
I want you to know how confident I am in the judgment of Albertans on these and other delicate issues. Although there are some politicians and commentators that fear direct democracy, such as referendums, I do not. I trust the judgment of Albertans.
9 questions will be asked in the planned referendum, including whether to cut off off newcomers from social services if they don't fall under Alberta-approved immigration status. The question doesn't define what that term means. Others ask whether Alberta should open negotiations with the rest of Canada to abolish the Senate and to give provinces the power to appoint Superior Court judges. Alberta's opposition NDP says Premier Smith is using immigration as a political distraction ahead of delivering a budget with a multi-billion-dollar deficit, much like ours here in BC.
We have direct democracy, and it's called a general election. Call it. Let Albertans judge her performance in the last 6 years under the UCP. It's all a massive distraction from the real things Albertans expect their government to deliver.
The Alberta Premier blamed the projected budget deficits on falling oil prices and what she called out-of-control immigration. She says Alberta's population has grown by nearly 600,000 people in 5 years, putting pressure on schools, hospitals, and other public services. The U.S. government promises to release what it knows about UFOs. Is it just a distraction from the release of Epstein files? Also ahead.
Then he pulls out this little sachet, and I'm like, what? What?
For two passionate Lord of the Rings fans, the proposal could not have been more precious. Even an actor from the blockbuster movie was part of the script. That's ahead. A Lord of the Rings actor visiting Vancouver helped make a Langley man's proposal perfect for an epic tale. It took months of planning to pull it off, but as CTV's Isabella Zaffarisi shows us, it's a full circle moment for the couple who bonded over the films a decade ago.
Call it Middle-earth magic. A proposal assisted by actor John Rhys-Davies, who played Gimli in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
This is a serious ring quest.
The 6-month plan was concocted by Langley toy store owner Matthew Purdy for his partner of nearly a decade, Kimberly Chalmers. Purdy says he wanted something over the top.
I said, listen, John, I know this is a big deal. I know you're at this convention to generate revenue because you're there doing signings, photo ops. I'll happily pay you for your time. And he was like, no. And I'm okay. But I felt acknowledged that. Yeah, but no, he did this because he really wanted to.
And then he pulls out this little sachet. And I'm like, what? What? And then he drops to his knee. And I'm like, oh, my God. What is happening?
The timing was perfect. Purdy's proposal fell on Valentine's Day, the 25th anniversary of the famed films, and Fan Expo, where his team built a Hobbit-themed booth.
And of course, John signed it here. And this is the door that, obviously, I got down and proposed in front of.
The couple bonded over the films during their early days of dating.
We found out we both like chicken wings and we both like Lord of the Rings. And we're like, well, that's amazing. I mean, it's hard nowadays to find someone to match with, right? So it was just chemistry.
You have my sword, my bow, and my axe.
And while the films send a group of mismatched heroes on a dangerous quest to destroy the One Ring, the fate of this ring is forever. The couple now deciding where they'll get married.
You're not going to go to New Zealand for your wedding, are you?
And I wouldn't be wearing pointy ears or anything.
I don't think I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
I think I might be okay.
We're kind of leaning towards that's a fun idea.
Isabella Zaffarisi, CTV News.
Oh, isn't that cute? Yeah. What I'm impressed is they've been together for so long, really hard to keep it a surprise.
Yes. Well, I think that was the surprise for her. It's been 10 years, so.
Yeah, it's about time.
Exactly.
The pressure's on. The longer you go out, the bar is really high for that proposal.
Exactly, and he did a great job, and it'd be amazing if they went to New Zealand and got married. All right, let's take a look at our forecast because things are going to change for us as we head into the weekend, all thanks to this Pacific frontal system bringing in some wet weather for the south coast across the lower mainland, but white weather for parts of the eastern sections of Vancouver Island in from Courtney to Campbell River. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow through this evening, right through until tomorrow morning. So do give yourself extra time if you're headed out onto the roads. Right now, we're seeing cloudy conditions across the lower mainland. Through the overnight, it'll stay dry into tomorrow morning, dry as well. We won't see the showers roll in until tomorrow afternoon. Higher elevations could see some mixing into tomorrow night before things dry up. It will be wet. For the North Island, you're looking at showers for Port Hardy, but a mix of sun and cloud for Vernon and Kelowna. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Periods of rain for Campbell River and Comox with a high of 6 degrees for the South Island. It'll be a soggy one from Tofino right down to the Southern Gulf Islands. Temperatures between 5 and 9. Unsettled for Victoria. You'll get a few breaks in there with a few showers as well as 9 degrees. For the Sunshine Coast, periods of rain and 4 degrees. Showers up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 4. Flurries for Whistler, -1. And for us across the lower mainland, we will start off cloudy, but then the rain returns in the afternoon. We'll see temperatures between 6 and 8 degrees. Heading into Sunday, it will be a soggy one, warming up to 9. Light rain expected on Monday. Tuesday, we'll see cloudy skies, showers, and 7 degrees. Unsettled conditions on Wednesday, a few breaks and a few showers, 7 as well. Heading into Thursday, we'll see cloudy skies. And then on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 7. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. And Lucy is here in her Lunar New Year outfit to remind everyone about the parade happening on Sunday. We'll be there. So bring your umbrellas because, yes, as mentioned, it will be soggy.
Will Lucy be joining us?
I wish she would, but she's not a rain fan, so she'll stay home.
Well, hopefully we can dodge some of the raindrops. If it could just stop raining between, 11 and 12:30?
Yeah, fingers crossed for that. It'll start off lighter on when we're hopefully walking and then pick up steam as we head into the afternoon.
We'll be drenched by the end. It won't be the first time.
Exactly. At least it's not snowing like last year.
All right, thanks, Anne. Well, you might call it a tax break. Why Canada Revenue says filing your tax returns should be much easier this year. And like a scene out of a movie, how a Lunar New Year parade turned into an elaborate police takedown in Thailand, coming up.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. Gloomy views of the Sky Bridge from the south side of the mighty Fraser, looking across to New West on an overcast day.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 73 cents to the U.S. dollar. Oil up 8 cents, closing at $66.48. Gold gained more than $83 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both ended the day higher, up 222 points and 230 points. The Canada Revenue Agency says people should have an easier time filing their taxes this year. The agency revamped its operations as part of a government-ordered service improvement plan focused on addressing call center delays. The CRA says it has streamlined its websites and hired more call center workers. The 2025 tax filing season begins on Monday and ends on April 30th for most taxpayers. Live Nation, the company behind Ticketmaster, says demand for concert tickets led to a strong year. Live Nation says its concerts had a global attendance of 159 million fans in 2025, up 8 million from the year before. And the company is also off to a strong start to 2026, with early ticket sales reaching 67 million fans, thanks to demand for big artists like Bruno Mars, Harry Styles, and BTS. Donald Trump has ordered the Pentagon and other government agencies to release files related to flying saucers and alien life. It comes after former President Barack Obama weighed in on the subject of aliens. Here's CTV's John Vanavelli-Rao.
My gosh. American Navy pilots have spotted them. Look at that thing. Strange objects flying in unusual ways. But now the U.S. president vowing to release whatever his government knows about UFOs and aliens. But is Donald Trump a believer?
I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it.
Trump directing America's Department of War and other agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. That includes UFOs, which these days are called unidentified aerial phenomena.
A lot of UFO fans are really excited that this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is Christmas. We're going to be getting all the files.
There's some. It all comes after former U.S. President Barack Obama appeared on a podcast and offered a surprising answer to this question.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51.
His statement that they're real led to so much buzz online, Obama later clarified, writing, "Statistically, the universe is so vast that the odds are good there's life out there," adding, "I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us, really." Still, Trump accused Obama of revealing classified information. In 2024, the U.S. Pentagon said there was no evidence alien life had ever been encountered, but added there were sightings that needed further investigation. Still, of Trump's latest directive, some think he's just using it to deflect attention.
Some people had said already that this was going to be a distraction from some other files that he doesn't want to release. So maybe we'll get something, but I'm not holding my breath quite yet.
Meanwhile, Trump did not set any kind of a deadline for the release of information. John Vanavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Family, friends, fans, and co-stars are mourning the death of screen star Eric Dane at age 53.
I didn't come to Seattle to be chief. I came to Seattle for you, okay? I came to Seattle to get you back.
Dane was best known for his breakout role of Dr. Mark Sloan, also known as McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy. He also had roles on Euphoria and several hit films. Last spring, Dane revealed he had been diagnosed with ALS. His publicist says he died yesterday and, quote, spent his final days surrounded by dear friends, his devoted wife, and his 2 beautiful daughters. The Chinatown Lunar New Year Parade, a glowing lantern festival, and the Stanley Park Dash for Dogs. Your Friday feel-goods are just ahead. Plus, cute coworker. Adam finds out how an unexpected past turned a woman and a goat into unlikely colleagues. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
The Winter Olympics will be wrapping up this weekend. How has Team Canada's performance been? Monday on Your Morning Vancouver, a look back at the big moments of the Milan Cortina Games, the medal count, and dramatic showdowns. Also, BC's paramedics have voted overwhelmingly to strike. What the main setbacks are as staffing shortages continue to be a problem. Plus, why you may want to consider joining a community garden this spring. We'll see you Monday morning.
Former Journey frontman Steve Perry is pouring cold water on the idea of a reunion with his former bandmates. Several members of Journey are on a farewell tour, and keyboardist Jonathan Cain suggested this week that Perry was thinking about taking part, but Perry says he's grateful for the love people still have, but rumors about me rejoining the band are simply not true, and I want to gently put them to rest. An elaborate takedown was caught on camera as undercover police disguised themselves as a dance crew at a Lunar New Year celebration in the suburbs of Bangkok. This video shows the officers emerging from the traditional lion costume, pinning the suspect on the ground and making the arrest. The alleged thief is accused of stealing nearly $90,000 worth of Buddhist artifacts in a home burglary. People will be braving the cold in Ottawa this weekend for an annual winter event with a Scottish theme. The Kilt Skate is taking place tomorrow afternoon in the nation's capital. Scottish Canadians are encouraged to dress their best for the event and wear a kilt or even just something with a tartan. Kilt is fine if you wear tights underneath.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, good luck to them. Okay, it's time for Friday Feel Goods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver.
Yes, and here are 3 things worth checking out.
Vancouver's Chinatown is set to come alive this Sunday as the 52nd annual Spring Festival celebration and parade returns. The Lunar New Year event is expected to draw thousands of spectators with the lively parade starting at 11 a.m., followed by family-friendly activities, live entertainment, and a community fair from 2 to 4. Best of all, it's free to attend, and many of us from CTV will be there, rain or shine.
Yes, and Lucy's in her Lunar New Year best.
She's ready.
Showcase the Year of the Horse. All right, speaking of the Lunar New Year, the Bodhi Meditation Center is lighting up the Lunar New Year with a glowing lantern festival celebrating the Year of the Horse. All weekend long, guests can wander through stunning illuminated displays, receive a written oracle offering guidance for the year ahead, and participate in a number of interactive experiences. Entry is free. And we like that. Free is always good.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it when the lanterns are lit up.
And if you're looking to get outside this weekend, Stanley Park is going to the dogs, of course, in the best way. Run Goes Dash for Dogs returns this Sunday with 2K, 5K, and 10K runs in support of BC and Alberta guide dogs. All kinds of dogs are welcome, even you, Lucy. But they must be on a leash at all times. You also don't need a pup to participate. Just enjoy the scenery while helping raise money for a good cause. She's already got her sweater on.
Yeah, that is a great cause.
She'll be warm. Could she do 10K, Lucy?
Can I do 10K? No. I'll do the parade and then run to Stanley Park.
All right, if you have any events you'd like us to highlight, email your tips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca. And just before we get to the Sawatsky sign-off, Lauren has a look ahead to your late news.
Mijung, we have a warning tonight from Avalanche Canada after a deadly avalanche near Revelstoke, the second fatal slide in our province this week. We'll have more on what happened and the cautions from officials for anyone heading into the backcountry this time of year.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. Finally, Adam meets a farm worker who, for what she lacks in actual work being done, more than makes up for with her companionship. On the Sawatsky sign-off.
There's always something to do, Claudia says, when you work on a farm.
No matter what day, early hours, long days. And a big belly.
Being manager means caring for a community of animals that includes this big pig and those 9 adolescent goats.
Right, normal farm life, cleaning up.
But in the off-season, when there are no children visiting, you'll find one kid working.
I do have a little 4-legged helper. Her name is Rosie, which is short for Rosemary.
Rosie, who begins this work day with a request for a rest.
The chair is my chair to have my coffee break.
What the goat lacks in work ethic, she makes up for with enthusiasm.
It's just, it makes things happier and easier having her by my side.
Wherever Claudia goes, Rosie follows. Whatever Claudia does, Rosie watches. And like co-workers do, throughout the day, they carry on conversations.
Then I go and I come back and I'm back, okay. And when I take too long to come down, where are you?
You see, they've known each other since Rosie was born.
Rosie lost her goat mum, her real mum, when she was 2 days old.
And seeing as there was no hope of Rosie's survival without a mom, Claudia brought the baby home. After months of bottle feeding, couch cuddling, and diaper wearing, Rosie started flourishing.
Good. It transformed me a bit into a mum.
A mom who comforted her when she struggled to connect with her peers. A mom who encouraged her while she learned to act like the other goats. A mom who celebrated when she finally made her first best friend.
She came into my life to just make it more perfect, more full. I want to see?
And made these moments, when mother and daughter turned co-workers finally take their well-earned coffee break, even more wonderful.
It's the joy of my life at the moment, honestly.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky sign-off, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct.
Call and talk to our team today.
Oh, I know.
Very cute.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of coworker to have.
The one that doesn't talk back
and doesn't complain.
Hey, they were saying she gets a little lippy. Where were you?
Just follows around, is obedient, hopefully.
Zoomies, I have a little coworker like that too.
And she's very complacent, isn't she?
Yeah, when she's here, she doesn't know what's going on. She won't look directly at the camera either. She knows it's on. Yeah,
Come on, look at the camera.
Lucy, show off your show off your beautiful Lunar New Year outfit. That's happening on Sunday, as we mentioned. So yes, absolutely adorable.
You need to get a matching vest, don't you think?
Okay, I'll get one made. Great idea, John.
Well, at the parade, you see kids wearing vests like that, and it's adorable.
All right, I will think of that. But first, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Cotton candy clouds in Seashell. Thanks, Penny, for sending this beautiful photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Okay, so Saturday tomorrow morning should be okay, though.
Tomorrow morning will be dry, and then the rain returns in the afternoon. Into Sunday, bring your umbrellas and see us at the parade.
All right, thanks, Ann. Lauren's back here tonight at 11:30. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.